We'll go ahead and continue for our media availabilities today in advance of tomorrow's NASCAR Nationwide Series race here at Richmond International Raceway. We've now been joined by Elliott Sadler, driver of the number 11 One Main Financial Toyota. Elliott, Richmond's considered your home track, a place that you always enjoy coming to, and just talk a little bit about this race, really kind of at the last part of the season as we really start to count down the races to Homestead.
Well, Richmond's always special to me. I mean, this is home for me. I mean, it was neat waking up this morning in my own bed and cooking breakfast with the family in our own house and just getting in the car and driving over here because we come over here all the time anyway, whether it's shopping or eating or anything going on. So it's just like a normal trip for us to be able to come here to the racetrack. So it's a neat place to race. It's a cool racetrack. I'm very proud of it that it is my home track and so close to home, and want to do good tomorrow night. We have, holy cow, we got a lot of family and friends coming tomorrow night to watch the race. So, we want to give them something to cheer about.
All right, we'll go ahead and take questions for Elliott. We will start in the back if we can get a microphone, please.
Elliott, welcome back. Just want to see about getting your first win here and how nice that would be. I know we've talked about it before, but does it frustrate you at all that you're still kind of waiting on that first win, and how great would it be to get it here in the fall?
Well, I've said this for a long time. I'd rather win here than the Daytona 500. It's just I think coming here as a kid so many years in a row to watch the Cup cars run here and the Busch cars run here and things like that. Come here as a kid and then being able to race here later is pretty special to me, and would love to win here. Been close a couple of times. We had a great car here in the spring. We got wrecked running third and had to come back there at the end. So we feel we got a good package for here. We feel like we're going to run pretty good here. Hopefully we'll be in position to take advantage of it, but I'm not going to lie, a win here would be very, very special. This hadn't been my best track in the world to the last couple years. I learned some stuff when I was able to drive for Kevin Harvick, and he taught me a lot of things about this place. And I feel like since then, we run a lot better here. So we have high hopes for this weekend. And sure, you want to win all the races, but if you get to win here at home and know your family and friends are here to kind of see it and support you, it's makes it pretty special. I think if you ask any driver if they could win at their home track or the closest NASCAR track to their hometown, they're gonna be extremely pumped for that particular weekend and the chance to be able to do that.
All right, we'll go
to the man with the pink shirt.
Yeah, to the man.
He's usually on the other side of the camera. I've never seen him on this side of the camera.
It's orange. I know you're a long way away, and your eyes.
It must be these lights
in your eyes.
You look pretty in pink, by the way.
Thank you so much. Not as good as you though, Mr. Sadler. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
You've been once again this year remarkably consistent. I think 6 top 10s in the last 8 races. How do you balance the satisfaction with being able to be that consistent with needing to do a little bit more, get up there in the points? You're 4th right now. You finished in the top 5 in the points every year that you've been in Nationwide. But where do you find the balance between being satisfied and wanting a lot more?
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely not satisfied. We have, honestly, as long as I've been racing, have had the worst luck this year than I ever can remember having. And look, I know you make your own luck and it's racing luck, but I mean, running third at Bristol and getting taken out by a car that's 20 laps down. I mean, running second at Michigan and a honey bun wrapper gets on the front of it, and a flat tire at Road America running third with 6 laps to go. I mean, the last month has been crazy, just keep pinning us behind the 8 ball. So, yeah, we've been consistent. Yeah, we like to be a little bit faster on some of the mile and a halves that we go to, but we want to get some breaks go our way. I mean, yeah, we are 4th in points, and we're a long ways behind the leader right now. I think he has to have some of my luck the next couple of weeks, really, for us to catch up to him. But at the end of the day, we got to go ahead and do our job and run our race and not really worry about what anybody else is doing. Yeah, we need to stay consistent, but we need to take advantage of any kind of situations we can, especially on the mile and a halves and stuff coming up. We'll see how that starts, tomorrow night here at Richmond.
Elliott, Chip RIR, 8 News back here.
Hey, buddy.
Hey. Last April, there was a lot of trouble with the tires on this track through both races, and it seems like everyone's trying to figure out the right formula to get that problem right.
What are you guys trying to do specifically to counter that, and what are some strategies maybe you're going to apply come race day?
Well, the first thing we did, Goodyear has brought back a different tire. Goodyear has brought back a different compound. We have some notes on it. We have run it at this style of racetrack before. So our cars will handle a little bit differently than they did here in the spring. It's a lot hotter now than what it was here in the spring, so the track's going to be a little slicker, probably a little slower, which should not grind the tires up as much. So Goodyear probably has taken care of that situation all on their own. Now it's just our jobs as team to adapt to this new tire configuration. We got notes on it, and hopefully we're close, but we're just going to have to fine-tune the car a little bit on this new style of Goodyear tire, which we knew with the problems they had here in the spring that they were going to make adjustments before we came back, and they did that because you want to put on a good show for the fans and not have to worry about any type of right front tire damage or anything like that.
And then one more question.
Yep.
Being from Richmond and big race in the Nationwide Series and then the race to make the chase on Saturday, how important is that, as a racer for the city of Richmond to have this kind of publicity for such a big event in a small town? I would consider, when you look at the sports landscape, for NASCAR in this city.
Well, in my opinion, when Richmond went to 2 night races, to me, it was like a huge jump in publicity and what was great for this city and this town in Southern Virginia. And then now with it being such a critical part of the chase format, being the last race every year, I think it's just a win-win situation for everybody here in the city and everybody at RIR. And Dennis and his staff do a great job promoting this race and do a lot of stuff within the city and surrounding counties and to promote this race the best way they can. But for us to race here, such a neat track. It's a little bit of speedway. It's a little bit of short track. There's no other track on the circuit like it. The only 3/4 mile track that we race at. And when you throw in the way the chase is made here, it's a big weekend for Richmond. It's really, and look, you know what's cool about it? Every time I look at people tweet out the TV rate, the ratings each week, Richmond, Virginia is always like in the top 5 and surrounding that. Norfolk's usually in there, Greensboro and places like that. So that shows the support that you have of racing in this area, and I think they come in here and support this racetrack, especially on such a big weekend.
All right, we'll go up to Zach, please.
Hey, Elliott, Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. Just wondering what you thought of yesterday's announcement of Xfinity coming on board as an entitlement sponsor, not just for like any potential changes that they could maybe infuse and make to the series, but also just for the health of the series in general.
All right, I'll answer that 2 different ways. One is it is so huge for Xfinity to come on with such a long-term deal for our sport, because we have so many great sponsors in our sport, like One Main Financial Mind, that's been here 11 years. And 6 months ago, the question kept coming up, man, what are we going to do? We know Nationwide is leaving. They're playing a different role in our sport starting next year. What's NASCAR going to do? Is the series going to be around? Who's going to be the sponsor? So yesterday, with that announcement, I think not only is great for NASCAR and it's great for Xfinity to come on board, but it is huge for the teams, the owners that support the Nationwide Series, for the sponsors that support the Nationwide Series. That means this is going to be here a long time, and it's going to protect the sponsors that have made such a big investment in our sport. Then I saw yesterday the first thing people want to do is change stuff about the Nationwide Series. And if they do that, fine. But honestly, in my opinion, they need to keep the chase just to the Sprint Cup Series. They need to keep Eldora just to the truck. I think each division should have their own unique twist to it. Now, whatever it might be for the Xfinity Series, I'm fine with. But the chase, to me, should be something for the Sprint, their company, their employees, their involvement, and keep it that on Sundays. And that's just my opinion. I think you water stuff down if you try to make it widespread throughout the whole circuit between all 3 divisions. And that's my opinion on it.
Any additional questions for Elliott? Okay, we have a few. All right, let's start with Chris. We'll come up front, and then we'll go to Stan.
Hey, Elliott, Chris Knight, CatchMinutes.com. Next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's a cause that is very dear to you and something that you support year-round. But teams are starting to get their programs ready for next month. Is there anything that you're going to do other than what you continue to do on a weekly basis and wear those pink shoes? Is there a program that you're working with One Main or even yourself that you're going to get the fans involved with?
Well, yeah, of course, we always do stuff on ElliottSadler.org where we're always donating something pink to people. We're always auctioning off stuff to people that's pink to raise money for Susan G. Komen Foundation. Of course, we'll have a set of pink shoes by then ready to go for next month. There's no secret that breast cancer is very close to my family, and especially the awareness of it, to see what my mom has been through, and a lot of close family friends. And there's not a better feeling in the world, guys, than fans coming up to you on a specific weekend thanking you for what you do for different types of involvement that you're in as far as charity is concerned, and awareness that is concerned. A lot of women and husbands and sons and brothers come up to me and my brother and thank us for our help with the awareness of breast cancer. So I have an amazing sponsor who always gives up their paint scheme each year at Charlotte, just like a lot of sponsors do. It's so neat to see so many pink cars when we show up at Charlotte. We always try to go paint the start finish line pink at Charlotte and share that special time. That's my mom's favorite car that I've ever raced in my entire life. I've been racing 31 years now, counting go-karts, and her favorite paint scheme is that pink one. So we'll have that again at Charlotte, as well as some other stuff going along with that, and makes me proud to be able to be able to do that, to be able to try to give back. So it's definitely a special month for us because we're still able to share that with our mom. She's still here with us. Thanks, Chris.
Right. Can we get a microphone right here, please? Thanks, Steph. And then we'll go.
Marty O'Brien with the Daily Press. Wanted to ask you, first of all, if you'll talk a little bit about what's impressed you about the performances this season nationwide of Chase and Ty and Regan. And for you, how much are you enjoying this part of your career after a long stint in the Cup Series?
Well, I'm definitely enjoying it, man. I'm a kid living a dream, man. How many people get to be a fan of a sport their whole life growing up and actually get to compete in it later in life? So very thankful, very lucky, very fortunate to be in a position I'm in where I can still compete at a weekly basis and still sit on poles and still win races and run it up front in a sport that you love. So I'm still having a ball. As far as Chase, man, he's been remarkable. He's been very fast everywhere he's been. Those guys have done a good job giving him good equipment. He's been very impressive. He's going to be tough to handle, and he's going to be a good one for the future. So he's definitely come in. His learning curve has been short. He reminds me a lot of his dad because I got to race against his dad's son when I first started. He takes care of equipment. He doesn't abuse his equipment. He's always around at the finish. Kind of sometimes I wonder if Bill hadn't slipped in there and he's driving a little bit. So, but Chase is definitely wise amongst his years, and he's going to be a tough competitor for a long, long time in this sport.
All right, Stan, go ahead.
Thank you, Stan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. Hey, Elliott. So, what do you remember about your very first run here as a driver at Richmond International Raceway? And if you could ask Infinity to add a track that you used to run at, but we don't run it anymore, where would it be?
All right. The first time I came here was 1995, and it was 76 Busch cars here to make the race. 76 cars. I mean, it used to be like that all the time. And we were on a flatbed trailer, and I actually was parked in a flatbed trailer between Darrell Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt. Both of them, everybody raced the Busch Series back then. And we made the race, and Dale Earnhardt and Darrell Waltrip actually missed that race, that fall race. So that was like the coolest thing in the world for me, that we out-qualified a lot of big names at that time and were part of that first race. I qualified like 29th and finished like 22nd, but thought that was the coolest thing in the world to out-qualify some of the guys we did. A lot of big names went home that night. But back then used to be so many drivers, especially local short-track drivers, that showed up to try to qualify for this race here at Richmond. If I could add a race track to the Xfinity schedule, to me, and I'm a little selfish, I would go back to Martinsville, because back in the day, The Busch Cars put on a heck of a show at that racetrack. I remember being a crew member and a fan there when it used to be the late models, modifieds, in the Busch Cars all in one day. There was the Cardinal 500 and the Winston 500. They called all these different names. To me, it was some of the best racing all the way across the board that a fan could ask for. And we see New Hampshire Speedway do that now, where they have a couple different divisions that run in one day, and the fans really flock out to do that. I like to see that again at some of our local tracks like we used to have down south, years ago.
All right, we'll take one more question in the back, and we'll.
Can I
wrap
call
it
you
with Elliott.
Pinky? Can I call you Pinky?
Sure,
For the
Leather.
shirt? Okay.
No problem. Just just thoughts about racing with your brother again this weekend. You don't get that opportunity much anymore.
Yeah, I don't, and I know he is. He's happy to be racing here. Things didn't turn out the way he wanted to at Bristol. Man, did he have some terrible luck during qualifying? So for him to be able to come back to a race that he raced late models here, years and years ago, and then of course he always ran pretty well here in his nationwide car. So I know he's honored to be able to do that, and Virginia Lottery for helping him put that all together. So it's a fun weekend. We have a lot of family and friends coming up. He rode with me up here this morning, and we talked about the track and the handling, the cars, the way it's going to do in the daytime, what it should do at nighttime. So we still try to help each other as much as we can, and I wish him nothing but the best this weekend. But it's always fun to see him get back in a car and compete, because that's all we've ever done since we were young. So good for him to be able to race this weekend.